A man who cannot wait cannot be trusted with anything worth having. But I am ready now. Patience is the test.
He had left on a cold Harmattan morning when the yam fields were still sleeping beneath pale mist. Adaize stood at the compound gate holding a kerosene lamp, her belly round with a child he would never watch enter the world. She pressed his hand against her stomach and said nothing. Words were too small for what they carried. 20 years. He had hauled timber in distant camps, slept beside strangers, eaten meals that tasted of loneliness. Every kobo he earned, he saved. Every dry season that cracked his lips and every rainy season that soaked his bones, he endured. His master, a weathered trader who had buried 2 sons, watched him work without complaint and once told him quietly, "A man who cannot wait cannot be trusted with anything worth having." Obinna carried those words the way elders carry proverbs. When at last his pockets were heavy and his hair had turned the color of ash at the temples, he began the long road home. He arrived past midnight, not wanting to wake the village, but firelight flickered through the thin window of his own mud house. He pushed the door gently. There she was, Adaize, older, still beautiful in the way that suffering makes some people beautiful. She was seated on a low stool, and a young man lay with his head resting in her lap. Her fingers moved slowly through his hair, the way one touches something deeply loved. The firelight threw shadows that told Obinna a story he did not want to read. Something cold and ancient rose inside him. His hand found the machete at his side. 20 years. 20 years of hunger and labor and faithfulness, and this is what waited at the end of the road? Then, like a hand pressed firmly against his chest, never make decisions in anger. His master's voice, clear as a bell struck in a silent village square. Obinna lowered his hand. He stepped back into the darkness. He lay down on the cold earth outside his own home, staring up at stars that did not care about his pain, and he waited for morning. He did not sleep. When pale light finally crept across the compound, the door opened. Adaize stepped out and saw him on the ground. She cried out and ran to him, kneeling in the red earth without hesitation. "You have come back," she wept. "Obinna, you have finally come back." Behind her, the young man appeared in the doorway, tall, with Obinna's own jaw, Obinna's own eyes. "Mama?" the young man said, confused. "Who is this man?" Adaize looked up at Obinna through her tears and whispered, "This is your father. This is Obinna, your father." Obinna's machete hand began to tremble, not with rage, but with the full, unbearable weight of what he had almost done. He pulled his son into his arms and wept like a man who had just been saved from himself.